Welcome to another episode of 15-Minute Masterpieces. I'm Lisa Magyar and I'm with Creative Arts Enid. We are in the Creative Arts Enid studio, and today I'm actually going to do a cardinal. I've printed out some photographs of cardinals just to give myself some guidelines, always a good idea. And I'm gonna start by mixing just a little bit of the yellow and some white so I can give myself some quick guidelines here. So I can kind of lay out where I want to put this bird. And you know what? I am going to go with the female cardinal, because why not? Nobody ever paints the female cardinal by herself. It's always the red cardinal, because that's what everybody knows. But you know what? I like to be different and do strange things in the name of art. So I am going to do the female cardinal. Also, I am not a native Okie. I am from Indiana, and that is our state bird. I really miss Indiana and my winters there with all of the snow. So this really kind of takes me home, having a wintry scene of a cardinal perched on a tree, yada yada. So I'm just kind of going in with a little gray, a little yellow, and kind of laying out my groundwork for the bird. You know what, I'm gonna, because we only have limited time, I'm gonna go to a bigger brush. And that will help me go a little faster. I am using a round brush. And I'm just kind of laying in some base color. I love acrylics because you can layer them and just kind of play with the colors. So I'm gonna lighten that up a little bit. I'm gonna go in with a little bit of white, kind of lighten that up too. And you can kind of see it starting to take shape. I don't want to get too big on there. Go in with some red. Again, right now I'm just laying in color, getting some different shades in there, kind of laying out where all of the color is going to be. Where are my wings and all that stuff. Now, the females are kind of boring in color, I guess, although I find it a little bit exciting. It's got a lot of yellows, a lot of tan, some red in there, whereas the male's just red. But he's bright and recognizable. So maybe that's why everybody paints the male and not the female. Might be getting on a soapbox a little bit right here. Sorry about that. So we've got our basic layout. I'm gonna go in and get some orange for the beak. And you see the round brush is already kind of pointy. So it's really easy to start with the point of the beak with the brush and kind of create that shape. Rinse it out, wipe it off on the paper towel, give it a little shake, why not? It's an art studio, it's allowed to be dirty. Now I'm just kind of going in, laying out where the eye is going to be. Obviously it's a little abstract and not to scale. Oops, I don't know why I'm going into the red. I meant to go into the yellow. Kind of giving it a little whoosp, and it helps if you kind of say that in your head, whoosp. And that helps you kind of pull that nice, gentle line. And you kind of get that look of feathers without actually having to paint feathers. And just kind of pulling that paint in. We would want to let it dry a little bit more. And you come in with some white, kind of white out those tips there. And then blow on it. Why not? Let that dry. While we do that, we're going to go into the tail. Get some grays in with that red. Come back with the red. Brighten that up a little bit. A little bit of black. And then enjoy our public domain music, maybe in the background. I don't know if you guys can hear it, but it's super fun. Makes me feel like I'm back in the 20s, because yeah, I know what that's like. And I'm losing my clock here, sorry. Okay, we're just at 6 minutes, so we're about halfway through our painting. Give it a few more little lines here. Come back in with some more red, help define that wing. And every now and then step back. Check out what you're doing, see how it looks. Is it coming together? Is it looking like you want it to look? Are the proportions coming into play? All of those fun things that you get to ask yourself while you're doing art. So this is really fun for me. I am thoroughly enjoying this. And just getting to kind of slap some paint on there. We do a lot of this kind of stuff at Creative Arts, where we get to do follow me, painting, the open studio. Lay in some white there, kind of white out some of that area so I can go back over it later. Because surprisingly, red does not cover up other colors. So you kind of have to white it out so then you can go back into it with red and make it really bright and shiny. Now I'm going to switch to a smaller brush. And come in with some of that yellow. I probably need to let that dry. Kind of help define that beak. And step back, take a look at it. We're going to give it a white spot in its eye. There's light reflecting. Also, in the beak. So it's abstract. It looks like a female cardinal. I see female cardinal. I'm going to put in a leg. Okay, and then I think it's time for the palette knife. So I'm going to get my palette knife out. There are lots of different ones, metal, plastic, different shapes. But that's not a palette knife, that's a palette knife. Okay, so big palette knife, a little bit of water. We're gonna help that flow. And don't do that, that's my bad habit, sorry. Wiping my stuff out on my skin, on my arm. So I'm gonna lift that up, put in some of these different colors, kind of lighten it up. I love using a palette knife. It gives you freedom to do your backgrounds. And it helps if you make the shoosh sound. So while you're painting, shoop, shoop. And you can mix different colors. I've got some green, got some teal blue, some white. Bring that over here. Let it mix. You kind of hold it flat. And then pull around. goes my phone. Awesome. That's okay. We'll figure it out how long I'm actually doing this for, or Dane will get it for me. Thank you, Dane. Sorry, going a little too crazy with the palette knife, apparently. So the fun thing with the palette knife is just kind of back and forth, play around with the different angles that you have. I'm now gonna move to the smaller one, pick up some of that white, blend it, because I don't want it to be too dark. I don't want it to take away from my bird. I'm just gonna keep going and adding these colors. I can clean up my lines a little bit using the palette knife. But I always want to come back and pull away from the painting. And sometimes you just flip the painting so you can get in the different angles. And sometimes I will do entire paintings just with the palette knife. Some of the artwork in the background is completely done by palette knives. So it's fun to play with and experiment. And I don't know why my timer won't stay on this time. So apologies. And don't forget, swoosh, swoosh. Looking to get arty in Enid, Oklahoma? Join us at Creative Arts Enid, 222 East Maple. And yes, I just went over the foot, but that's okay. That's part of the fun, and my hand is a mess. But welcome to art. Come back in. Kind of add some strokes with a paintbrush, see how that goes for you. And I'm going to switch back to my bird colors and add a few more things in here. Some more yellow, add some more white, let it blend on your canvas. You just want to be careful because the palette knife stuff is still wet, so we don't want to blend it, because when we blend it, we will get green. And I'm pretty sure our bird is not green anywhere. I'm kind of playing with the brush strokes. And there we go. That is exactly what we didn't want to happen, but that's okay. We'll go back in, kind of blend that out, add some of our gray. We just keep going. Slow it down there. Okay, so I think we are probably about done. I am going to touch up this. I'll probably let that dry, fix up the blue-green that we've got going in there. But that is another 15-minute masterpiece. And we have done the female cardinal. I really dig this one. I think it turned out super awesome. And join us at Creative Arts and for the next installment of 15-Minute Masterpiece.